Ladies and gentlemen, very, very special treat for you today. I really wanted to introduce these guys. Jordan Biggie Stephens, you've seen him before. He's the most handsome guy on Team Gen-Tec. He's the cutest. All the boys love him, and some of the girls do too.
All the girls.
Jordan's a great strongman. He's a young strongman. Weightlifting, Olympic weightlifting is his background. He's joining founder of Recomp, Damon Hayhow, former champion bodybuilder, champion powerlifter. This guy knows his stuff better than anybody in this country, probably when it comes to deadlifting, amongst other things. So it's a deadlift workout. Damon's in the house. This is his beautiful gym here in Queen Street in Melbourne. And of course, Nathan Wallace. He's the golden boy at the moment with natural bodybuilding, gracing many covers, international bodybuilding covers, but Nathan's known to be a champion powerlifter as well as a champion bodybuilder, and he makes them work hand in hand. So this is a typical workout for these guys in increasing their strength, increasing power output for Jordan for his events, even increasing muscle size along with their strength, because Nathan uses this type of workout leading right up to a bodybuilding contest. So without further ado, folks, you're in for a big, big treat. Sit down and really take note, because these guys are going to educate you, probably entertain you a little bit as well, and you'll be inspired, ladies and gentlemen. So sit back and relax and pick up tips from these great mentors and great champions. Enjoy. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it.
I'm older than the young guys, so I've got to do a few more at the start. Loosen up all the, arthritis and the gristly bits.
Oh, it's warm for you, mate. It's warm for you.
Okay, so you're going to find that all of us have different styles, different warm-up techniques, all that sort of thing. So you do have to work with your own leverages and what you sort of, God gave you sort of thing. So some guys have shorter arms, some guys are going to have longer arms, some got longer limbs, longer legs, longer torso. So you really have to work into what you have at the time. So best way to set up a dead is you got to remember, you got to try and keep the bar as close as possible to your body. So the further the bar swings away from your body, what happens is you're moving the weight away from your center of gravity. The closer you can bring the bar back to your center of gravity, the stronger you're going to be. If your weight starts shifting forward, that means the bar is going to shift forward of your center of gravity. Your whole weight is now forward of your center of gravity, which means, again, you're going to be weaker. You need to make sure you shorten the length of movement. So if you're trying to pull with your arms and you're bending with your arms, what you're doing is now you're making a weak link in the chain. So the arm, all you want to have is, the arm is just pretty much a hook onto the bar. So if you bend your arm, all of a sudden that is now a weak area in the chain. So we'll go through it a little bit and you'll see a little bit of depth. Each of us has got different limbs and different lengths. Different leverages, but we'll try and work and you'll see differences between our lifts. Okay, so when I set up, I get the bar right up against the shins because that is closest to the center of gravity. You want to have your hands only just on the outside of your legs. So what happens is the wider you have your hands out here, means the further you're going to have to duck down before standing up. And as you stand up, all of a sudden, if your arms are out wider, all of a sudden, you have to pull the bar even higher. So the further you just pretty much straight down, have your arms as long as possible, that's where you want to sort of hold the bar. So just down the outside of your leg there, down the outside of your leg there, get a nice grip of the bar. You'll notice that I've got an under-over grip. That stops the bar from rolling. If I've got two overhand grips, I'm going to try and roll out. So one hand is under, one hand is over, whatever's more comfortable. It locks it in. From there, you want to take a big, big breath of oxygen in. You want to drop your hips down and then drive with your legs and pull through with your hips and lock your shoulders pretty much just straight up. So and then back down, and as you come back down, you push your hips back, you do the opposite movement. As you get past your knees, bend your knees. So I'll do a few for warm-ups now. Some weight on it. Nice and long. Oh, that's a good lift.
guys are giving me tips the whole way I go through it. For the simple reason these guys know powerlifting back and forth. Both these guys are world class record holders, champions. These guys are going to help me out big time here today to try and actually get my deadlift better. It's one of my weak events in strongman, so training with two champions like this is a huge, huge thrill for me, and it's going to be helping me a lot in the future as well.
One of the things that I was just picking up on Jordan there, I was taught to deadlift in a powerlifting competition. We done squats and bench press, and they said, next to deadlift. And I said, what's that? And they said, you just stand up with it. And I went, what, like this? And they went, yeah, that's about right. That was the best coaching I could possibly have, because no one was there to screw it up. And unfortunately what happens is that you go to coaches who try to complicate something as simple as a deadlift, and it is simple. There's a bar on the ground, stand up with it. It's no more complicated than that. The only way you can hurt yourself and screw it up is if the bar comes away from your center of balance. So now where your shin meets your foot, that vertical line right there, that's where the bar needs to travel. That's where you've got your optimal drive and you can actually access all of your power, but it's also where there's nothing but compressive forces straight through your body. Your back can round, you can do any kind of ugliness you want with the bar in that line. You don't want to, but you can, and you'll be completely fine. As soon as the bar comes away from that, as soon as it pushes forward of you, it's now putting a shearing force, which is going to take out the weakest link, probably your sacroiliac joint in the base of your spine, and that's where all of the injuries come from. You also won't be able to lift the weight either. So what a lot of guys do is when they set up their deadlift, they're taught to squat down like a leg exercise, and their shins roll the bar right forward over their toes, away from their center of balance. Their weight goes on their toes, so they've got no ability to actually apply any leverage, because they're trying to push through their toes instead of get the power straight down into the floor through the heel. And then as soon as they start to lift, the bar swings away from them, and that's where you hurt yourself. It doesn't matter if your back is flat, if the bar is out here, you're going to hurt yourself. So what we're focusing on here with Jordan, very, very subtle. The guy is insanely strong, but that 1 inch we can bring the bar back into the center of balance is going to add 10% to his deadlift today, like that, 30 kilos, no question. So that's how important that is. It's also going to stop him hurting himself. All right, what we're going to do.
That's it.
So you notice with my sort of warming up, I tend to concentrate a lot on speed. I find that for me, moving the bar and trying to get the bar to move as fast as possible, my weakest area is my lockout. So if I can get some speed and use less energy off the floor, that means I've got more energy at the top of the movement, so I can lock it out a little bit better. So for me, speed's very, very important.
And actually, one other thing I'd like to address before I do this, there's a lot of question, particularly in bodybuilding, about what the benefit of the deadlift is to a bodybuilder. I put it like this: by the time you're Ronnie Coleman size or whatever size bodybuilder you want to be, the one thing that's absolutely certain is that you can pick a bigger bar up off of the ground. It's an exercise where you're not limited by skill as much as every other exercise, and it's a very, very honest measure of how strong a person is. It's the most honest measure. There's a bar, pick it up. If your deadlift isn't increasing, you are not changing. So what we've found in the research that we've done is that for every 10 kilos of lean mass that you build, there will be around about a 50 kilo increase on your deadlift. The other way of looking at that is if your deadlift doesn't go up 50 kilos, you haven't built 10 kilos of muscle. So we focus on this as our primary movement. Nathan and I, when we compete, when I did compete 100 years ago, we both focus on maintaining our maximum deadlift performance all the way into competition as our sole training objective. It's the only thing that matters. Everything else has been done in the gym. If we can maintain our deadlift, we know we maintain 100% of our muscle mass, and that means we can come into the competition as heavy as possible, as ripped as possible, and it all comes back to this baby. So, stand up with the bar. Like that.
No, for a young guy.
there. Beautiful. Fine, baby.
Oh yeah. It's getting lighter, Nathan.
Boom, yeah.
Getting The reason why I'm using chalk is chalk takes away the moisture out of your hands, which therefore it's only a dry surface hitting a dry surface. You'll get a lot better grip and it won't tend to slide out of your hands. I've also got some music playing in my ear. For me, music's I just like listening to music when I deadlift. It gets me, energized and ready to go.
Now, I'm using straps. As Nick said, I've got world records in the deadlift. I've always trained with straps. My grip's not an issue. When I deadlift with straps, when I'm deadlifting, I'm training my deadlift. I'm trying to pick up the biggest weight that I can pick up. My grip gets worked on. Biceps, lat pull downs, everything else like that. I warm up as far as I possibly can without straps. But these keep me better connected to the bar, allow me to lift heavier weights, safer, keep the bar back in my center of balance where I need to keep it. They're an invaluable training tool. Don't let anyone tell you to handicap your deadlift by not using straps in your training. Simple, effective things. Get a single loop. Figure eights are terrible. Single loop forces you to actually grip the bar still. It stops it rolling out of your hands, so your grip's still working. One of the best things I ever did for my grip was actually cheat shrugs going up to about 400, 420 kilos in straps. If you want to build your grip, straps can help.
Get up! Along with what Damon was saying with the straps, in strongman, because we have so many dominant grip events, we have the farmers walks, we have keg carries and all that type of stuff. When it comes to doing a deadlift, our grip could be fatigued, completely gone by then. So in a strongman deadlift, most of the time the guys aren't allowed to use straps. So we, like I said, and like Damon said, because we train so much grip work anyway, the farmers walks, we have no problem with the grip, but this will just help us out holding the bar. And as you'll see, a lot of these guys, when they do their powerlifting style, they have very strict technique. The bar has to glide straight up their thighs. In strongman, it's a little bit different. As long as the bar gets to a locked position from the floor, that's all that really matters.
That's how we train too, man.
That's it.
Oh. Come on, stand up one time.
Come on, Biggie.
Come on, Biggie.
Yep.
Sit back. Sit back. Up. Sorry for the distraction, but you were. It was good that you were about to lift it from forward, so. I'm sorry for throwing
You're
concentration
right.
here.
All I did was think of Nathan when I was doing it anyway. I got it.
And that allowed you to thrust
Oh,
your
yeah,
hips right
that's
forward
it.
with power.
All the ladies do it, so why can't Biggie?
That's right.
So you'll notice that I don't use straps. I'm going to go with the reason why. Now, I don't use straps.
Nathan has plenty of grip power.
Yeah.
I have plenty of grip power. But actually the whole reason is actually, for me, it puts me into a better positioning. It actually gets the bar closer to me. So if I go overhand grip, what will happen is my shoulders tend to roll a lot forward. So it will make the bar swing forward and I can actually get a lot hunched over the lift. And my lockout is my hardest part of my lift. So for me, once I get it to my knees, past my knees, I can get quite strong. My lockout's harder, so if I can get my hand around, it actually helps me keep upright a little bit more and not fold straight over and round out. So it's just a little bit better for me. And I don't have a problem with my grip. Doesn't matter if I'm doing 1 rep or 30. My grip will never go.
Come on, Nathan. Come on, Nathan. Come on, Nathan. Big drive. other things here, you can see there's a whole lot of testosterone flowing and you know, Neanderthal grunts and things going on. The deadlift is probably the most psychological exercise there is. It's pure aggression. You don't squeeze this exercise and try to come up and contract your muscles or anything else like that. You're there to lift the weight. It's just all aggression.
Tight up the floor. Come on, strong. Come on, here we go. Stand on it, man. Come on. Stand up. Boom. Stand. Hit.
Yeah!
Easy.
Yeah.
Hoorah.
That's the way you do it, big fella.
Yep.
Not done.
You'll notice I'm using one of these. They come in different brands and stuff like that. It's really just called a massage stick. A lot of powerlifters and strongmen in general will use these to warm up. It just helps it's another tool just to massage. If you've got some tight areas, sort of dig in. You can use the ends of them to sort of do some trigger point stuff or get some blood flow through. So they seem to work really well. So I think it's one of the things that's kept me away from injuries in the last few months. So go out and get one if you haven't got any.
Come on, Biggie.
Come on.
Come on, Biggie.
Come on, Biggie!
Go, buddy.
Come on. Stand up once.
Lightweight!
600 pounds.
One way to the top, buddy.
Stay back. Come on, Biggie. Stay back. Up.
Stand up now. Hit.
Oh!
Yes!
Nice.
Come on, Nate. Fire up, man. Come on. Nice and tight.
Big and strong.
Come on. Big explosion. Sit back. Come on. Sit back, drive. Up. Get up.
Oh, yeah! Yeah!
How you doing, baby?
That's how it's done.
I set an Australian record back in 1800 something with 300 kilos when I was 18. I believe it still stands an Australian record. So for the rest of my life, 300 has been my benchmark, where if I can't pick this up, I need to go and play in the traffic outside. So to my mama and pop, I love you, and I'll see you on the other side of this lift.
That's done, big dog.
Come on, Hal. You know what to do. Stand up with it.
Stand up, big man.
No other option, man. Come on. Your time. Come on, Damon. Come on, stand up. Get up.
Drive! Oi! That's the way you do it, buddy.
Oh man, I have to follow that.
Come, Jordan.
Come on, Biggie. This is you.
You will die, Biggie.
Come on!
Come on.
Come on, man. It's three with this here.
The strongest!
Yeah.
Come on!
That's right. Stay back. Come on, man. Sit back and drive.
God.
Come on, Nate.
Come on, big man. Go, Nate.
Come on, Nate. Come on. Come on, Nate. Let's go, baby. Come on. Big guy. Come on.
Come on, Nate.
Kill it, man. Come on.
Lightweight.
Come on, Nate.
Gonna happen.
Come on. Nice and tight. Big drive.
Gonna happen.
One way to the top, buddy.
Come on. That's it. Kill it.
One way.
Come on.
One way,
And
buddy.
big drive.
Up, Nate! Up!
You'll notice that before my last lift on the 300, I had this little bottle in there. It's called nose talk. So what it is just pretty much just straight ammonia. So the reason being is that what it does is it just pretty much enlightens your senses. So for me, it kind of just takes away any other thoughts that are processing in my head and just enlightens everything and wakes me up, makes me feel like I've been punched in the head. It's almost, for me, it gives me like that fight sense, like, you know, that sense of adrenaline that sort of rushes through you. So it works for me. It takes my mind off. If my mind's drifting anywhere else, it just makes me wake up a little bit.
Come on, Biggie! You can do this, man. Come on!
Come on, Gordon.
Come on, man!
Come on! Come on, big man. Come on!
Come on, fire up properly, Biggie. Come on! Get your head in this!
That's right.
This is all in your head, man. Come on!
Feel like. Come on!
Come on, Biggie! Come on,
Get in!
Pull it back, big boy! Come on, man! Come on, come on, come on! Big drive, big drive, big drive! Up, 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 up!
Can't stay with the little guys. Too heavy. Whoa. Thanks, boys. I've got a lot to learn from these two. But long way to go, but training with these two will get me there. So deadlift's my weakest event in strongman. I always tend to lose a lot of competitions on my deadlift. So the more I can do with Nathan, Damon, all these guys, learn the little tricks of the trade, change my technique a little bit. 300 will come next time. I've done it before, but it's just not today. But I'll see everyone next year. I'll be a world's strongest man one day. One day! It's all yours, man. What do you want?
Damon's going first. Come on. Rest it, Damon. Stand up with it. Come on.
Come on, easy! This is all you here, man. This is all you.
Come on!
Lead, come on!
Get it up!
Get it up!
Get up!
Yep, all good. And that was past it.
No, he's still leading. It certainly wasn't.
And this is just to make Nathan's victory official. No pressure.
That's a big jump in my bag. Big jump.
I've done 340. I've done 320 for 4 reps before when I had muscles. I tore my bicep off spotting a client in 2009, and I came back and pulled a world record, but it's never come back since. I don't know what it is, but I've done a 310 since. That would have been a PB since 2009, but I've got to hand it over to this man now. He's got to take the reins. Come on, man! Come on, man! Come on! Show us how it's done, man! Come on!
Get in! It's coming up!
Come on, man! Come on! Come on! Come on! Get up! Come on! Big drive! Big drive! How do you get up? That's just because he's so respectful to the teacher, and you know, he could have done that.
That was a PR attempt.
Thank you. That's respect.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah, that's good, man. I don't know what do you reckon. Give another crack, or maybe we should do something else.
One more. How do you feel?
Yeah. Yeah, so did I.